Hello everyone, welcome in or welcome back. Thank you for supporting my channel and sharing your time and energy with me today. My name is Amanda and today we have a quick Monday mystery message for you with 4 soul paths for you to choose from, each one containing a unique mystery message that you need to hear at this time. This is timeless, so whenever you come across it, there will be something here to align you to your highest good. And remember to take whatever messages are aligning and confirming for you and kindly leave the rest for someone else. So if you are ready to get into your message, you can click on the timestamp for your reading in the description box or pinned comment. However, if you'd like me to introduce you to the soul paths, let me do that now. For soul path 1, we have receive with the amethyst crystal. For soul path 2, we have love with the opalite stone. For soul path 3, we have measure with the citrine stone. And for soul path 4, we have prepare with the red jasper stone. So when you are ready, use your intuition to choose the soul path that is calling to you the most. Then head down into the description box or pinned comment section to hop into your reading, and we will see you over there. Hello, soul path 1. Welcome to your reading. So you chose receive with the amethyst crystal. I almost wonder if you will be receiving some kind of messages or unlocking some kind of door, gift. I want to say something inspiring is coming your way. There is something coming your way. This could be a gift as well. Maybe from somebody or something that you least expect. So this almost gives me the feeling that you must be open to receive or be open-minded to receive in ways that you normally wouldn't or that you might not expect. So just be open for opportunities, for communications, for people, for experiences that you may overlook. Because I feel like they're going to be smaller in nature, but they could unlock something pretty big for you in the long term. So it could be something that you might just think of as, oh, it's just that, or it's just this, or no big deal. But I think it might be a big deal. So just keep an open mind there. We're going to get into the tarot now. And I think we're going to pull, the last reading was a little longer than I wanted for each one. So I think what we're going to do is pull 3 cards to start and then pull 2 clarifiers. Final oracle message to end your reading, just to keep these Monday messages quick. And then we'll save the extended readings for Thursday. Okay. There's a quick to judge with the Queen of Swords in reverse. So I almost wonder if that is almost part of that receiving energy where you have to be open to the possibilities or open to the solutions or open to receiving something. I feel like there's some movement happening here, or you would like to move towards something here. But I also feel that there's a swiftness here that might not be necessary, or there could be something that you're overlooking in this process to move forward. So the Hanged Man is here in the reverse position. Now this has 2 meanings for me. Either there's a worry of what people think, so you're not sharing or expressing how you would authentically express yourself if you had less feeling about what others thought, or there is a significant delay because, or you're coming up against roadblocks or obstacles or challenges because there is something that you're missing, and universe is putting a bit of a roadblock in place so that you can gain a little more clarity. Right now, I feel like you're moving to try to move on from something. You're taking action. You want to see movement. So there's a feeling of control here with the Chariot. You want to have control of a situation, or you want to take inspired action towards something. You want to see movement, momentum, victory, success. However, there's a few blocks and obstacles to doing that. There is either some kind of scattered energy, or you're not clear, you're feeling a little bit foggy about what it is you're trying to accomplish. And this delay with the Hanged Man is this energy of stopping to look around, maybe to absorb or observe some information, receive some information. And again, I feel it's one of those things that is so small you might overlook it if you're going too fast. So this is a moment to slow down, to pause, to look around and observe, to receive a message. This could be from your higher self, this could be from the external world. And I feel with the Nine of Wands, you have been persevering and you have been putting in a lot of work towards something. So you want to put in that last bit of effort to move forward and to claim your victory and success. But again, there is some kind of foggy energy or lack of clarity here, maybe even feeling like you have all of the information that you need, but I feel like there's something missing in this puzzle. Now, this could have to do with connecting with somebody to get more information, to get advice, to get opinions, to get assistance, but not lean on them so much that they are the ones kind of driving the boat. Because maybe with that confused or unclear energy, you moving towards a specific goal might not get you there. So this is about learning something, obtaining something in order for you to claim that success as quickly as possible. It's almost like a feeling of slowing down to speed up. So I almost think, rather than this being worrying about what others think, I do feel like this is a slowing down energy, a delay, a pause, to gain some sort of enlightenment. And there could be a reason for your emotions overshadowing your good judgment, or just your judgment in general. So it might be really hard to make decisions. It might be really hard to get clarity or find answers or problem solve at this time. So all the more reason to slow down a little bit so that you can maybe find a different way forward, to find a new way of doing something. Because I feel you've been through a lot, and I almost wonder if this energy that you are putting in at the moment, or have put in, is actually going to be the thing that takes you to the next level. It's almost like you have exhausted all your options, so now it's time to do something different to avoid burnout, to avoid fatigue, to avoid being completely stopped in your tracks before you reach your goal. Because the Nine of Wands, it's got beautiful perseverance and resilience against adversity, but it can also be this energy of pushing too hard. And if we push ourselves too hard, when the answers aren't clear, when we don't have the energy, whether that's spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, then we can really push ourselves into a place of burnout. And that's when our bodies, our minds, our energy tells us to completely stop. And it shuts us down so that we can recover and gain our energy back. So that could just be a little warning there. So let's get a couple more cards here, and then we'll get a clarifier to end your, or an oracle card to end your reading. One more. One more for Soul Path 1, please. Thank you. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles. You could be feeling a little bit like there's a financial pressure here, so maybe that is why the heat is on a little bit to move, to see success and victory, because there is a need to build up your finances, to have a financial foundation, to get out of this mode of scarcity or lack mentality. And this lack mentality could be the thing that is clouding your judgment because you're moving from that space of lack. So it's almost like this isn't a time for that divine masculine energy of action. This is a time to understand and receive something. And that Five of Pentacles could also be looking for assistance to help get yourself out of this or move yourself out of this energy. It could also be looking to the bright side of the situation. What are you gaining from this particular moment? What kinds of things are you learning about yourself, about your path forward, about how you can do things differently maybe? Because there is a koala here who their tree was burned by a forest fire, but there's some new opportunities here popping up. And again, it's that energy of small. You know, it's easy to focus on the big tree that is no longer because it still has stature, but it no longer is serving. So it's about looking to new opportunities and different opportunities that you might have overlooked previously, or may have even judged before you tried. So I'll just throw that out there. So the Justice is this energy. In this card, it's depicted as swimming upstream to get to the spawning grounds in order to reproduce. So this swimming upstream energy can be really challenging because it feels like you're not going anywhere. You are treading water and you are moving against the grain, which is maybe why it has been so difficult. And this is what you may be feeling, is that you've been pushing against the grain. So there is a sense of force here. And I feel like that force or that ambition, that drive, is not something that's going to get you to the finish line. I feel it's the opposite. We're moving into a bit of a divine feminine now, where we are allowing, we are moving with the flow. We are bringing back balance, because I feel you have done a lot of that divine masculine energy of pushing, of being ambitious, of going for gold. And I feel that there's a bit of an exhaustive energy because of it, which could be clouding your judgment. And especially when there's pressure of maybe moving out of a situation that makes you feel like you're in a lack mindset, you feel like you have to double down on that force, on that drive, on doing. But I feel it's almost the opposite, and maybe that's what you're overlooking, is to do something differently. And something that you may have overlooked is to allow, to receive, whether that is information, whether that is stepping back and offering yourself a little rest at this time, and finding that balance again, finding that equilibrium. So I feel like this kind of pairs really well with that Hanged Man in reverse, because instead of pushing forward and pushing against the grain, you are stopping to idle for a minute. And once this fish gets into that next pool, that is exactly what's going to happen. Now, this could be an energy of you needing to adjust, because the Judgment card can be this adjustment card where you have to adjust to situations. You have to adjust to certain outcomes that are out of your control. And because we have pretty big energies here with the Justice, the Hanged Man, and the Chariot, I feel that there's a lot of things that are out of your control. So forcing something to happen when it may not be the right environment for it to happen is only going to cause more resistance, if that makes any sense at all. Let's get your final oracle message to end your reading. Final oracle card for Soul Path 1. What do they need to hear? That was definitely coming out. Look at that. There you go, my friends. Spirit cannot be more clear. Do nothing. And when we're doing nothing, I know it might be really difficult. And obviously you need to do what you need to do to keep the lights on and the food on the table and all of that. But outside of that, try to preserve your energy for other practices, whether that be self-care practices or maybe zoning out in a good show or a good book or spending time in nature. But there's definitely a meditative state here where there's some kind of stillness and you're doing nothing but allowing. allowing the thoughts, allowing something to process, allowing things to move as they need to move, and observe what's happening within your body, within your mind, within your spirit, within the world around you. And that feels definitely like a bit of Hanged Man energy there. So, my dear Soul Path 1, this was your reading. I hope you found some clarity and guidance today. If you would like a personal reading, the link to find that is in the description box below. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 2. Welcome to your reading. So you chose love with the opalite stone. I feel like you might be... Spirit could want to speak about love. This could be romantic with another person. This could be love with friendships. This could be love with family. This could be love with self. But I feel you're on some kind of pathway towards some kind of end goal. This could be finding balance within self as well, where you're bringing together the divine masculine, which is that doing energy, and the divine feminine, which is that receiving energy. Trying to balance those things out a little bit. Maybe even connecting in with your higher self a little bit more to heighten your low vibrations and bring your higher self into your spirit a little bit more. So it's kind of this energy of bringing things together in the middle to find that balance and harmony. I know that was a little abstract, but that's what I'm seeing in my mind, is this lower energy being elevated while this higher energy is kind of coming down so that they can meet in the middle. But I feel there's some kind of thing that you are trying to achieve in regards to love. So let's take a peek at what's going on. Spirit, could we get 3 cards to start? What we're going to do, since the previous Monday reading was a little bit longer than I wanted to, we're going to pull 3 cards to start, 2 clarifiers, and then an oracle card to end the reading. Okay, for Soul Path 2, please, Spirit, what would you like to share with them today? What do they need to know? Possibly in regards to love. 3 cards. All right. Wow, interesting. I'll tell you in a sec why I say that. So the Chariot was in the upright, and I did shuffle these 3 times, and you saw me do a bit of a spin, and yeah, it came out in Soul Path 1, but it was in the upright, not reversed, and it was also on the bottom of the deck. So the 9 of Wands was also the last card at the bottom of at the last card in Soul Path 1 as well. So Soul Path 1, you might be called to, definitely go check that out. You might have some additional messages in there, or you might be coming from Soul Path 1. So there might be some further clarification in this message for you. And we did talk a little bit about divine feminine, divine masculine in that reading as well. However, this is a very different reading with a couple different cards and a different oracle message. So we've got the 4 of Swords, which is this energy of rejuvenation. Definitely, I feel you should go check out Soul Path 1, because that was part of their message too. There's an energy of taking a step back to heal or process something so that you can be refreshed for what's next. I feel like there's some attachment to the past here that you might not have let go of yet. This could be anything from a breakup of a relationship to a disconnection of a friendship or a family member, even a passing away of somebody. So I feel like this is a moment where you have put in a lot of effort towards something. This 9 of Wands is a bit of a wounded warrior energy where you have done a lot to overcome a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, and you have been determined in getting to your destination or your goal, to move away from whatever this energy might be. However, the Chariot in reverse can be this energy of feeling a little bit out of control, feeling a little lost, not knowing which way to go and how fast or how slow to go. And it's also this imbalance of subconscious and conscious, where the subconscious thoughts, maybe from our past, is coming back for some reason, or is being triggered and is driving the bus. And we're not really sure why. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I making these decisions? Why am I making the same decision over and over again? There is a subconscious belief that could be underlying, that is popped up and is taking control and making you feel a little out of control. This could also be circumstantial, where the things around you right now are feeling a little bit out of control, so you're having a bit of difficulty trying to get things back in order, which could be why this Nine of Wands is here. It's this energy of persevering, of trying to get things figured out, of trying to set boundaries. That could be something that you need to do at this time, is set up more boundaries to protect what your limitations are at this time, especially if you need a timeout, especially if you need to spend some time alone or away from people, even disconnecting yourself for a little bit so that you can have a bit of downtime. Because that's what that Four of Swords is that downtime, that moment of even finding sanctuary, to be able to step away from the chaos, the confusion, the feelings of being out of control, and try to come back into self a little bit. Try to even connect with your inner child, which could be something that is coming up right now. You need a certain level of care that maybe no one else can really give you at this time. So it's almost this moment of you caring for the younger you. That could be what this love is caring for the smaller part of you that feels vulnerable, that feels chaotic and confused, that feels like they've tried and failed. It's time, I feel, to step up and almost parent that inner child, to give it comfort, to give it compassion, to give it permission to feel what they want to feel, and let that be okay. Which means that you are giving yourself that permission to feel what you need to feel and be okay. And being okay, I feel, is coming through. So I think Spirit wants to say that you will be okay in this. You will be okay on the other side of this. So with that, let's get some clarifiers. And look, we've got the Lovers in reverse at the bottom of the deck, and the Sun underneath that, which is in the upright. So that playful, joyful energy will return. And the Lovers in reverse, again, is that imbalance of energy and maybe a disconnection from a potential romantic partnership, or a disconnection from you to your higher self or your younger self, your subconscious or your conscious. Oh, we've got 2 and 1 here. Okay, so we've got the Nine of Cups in reverse. There's a feeling of disappointment here, and that feeling of sanctuary and oasis is coming back again, because we have a bit of an oasis in both of these cards. So I feel like that's definitely significant. And then we have the Ace of Swords in the upright. Definitely a newfound clarity, I feel, is on its way, is incoming. But in order to gain that clarity, we have to step off the carousel sometimes, to take a break, to take a breath, to take pause, and really reflect on what's going on within us, what's going on in the outside world, and how that's affecting us internally, emotionally, spiritually, and what we need to feel grounded and secure. Because there is no pentacles here, which means that grounding could be needed at this time because it is missing. It's the missing element. We've got some swords here, so there could be some things that you're thinking about, that you're processing, that you're communicating with others. We have some cups here, which is attached to the emotional self, but they are both in reverse. So I feel like there's some kind of emotion that needs to be acknowledged in order for it to be released. The Nine of Cups is this energy of feeling emotionally fulfilled and satisfied with oneself and the things that they are connected to, the things that bring them joy, their achievements. They feel really good about themselves. But in the reverse, there's a bit of a drained energy here, and there's also a bit of disappointment, maybe in self, maybe with things in the external world. There is something that is not feeling fulfilling. So we must ask ourselves why. And I feel like why, or finding your purpose in this, is going to be helpful here, because maybe you've been putting your time or your thoughts or your energy into something that has been lacking for you or unfulfilling for you. So we have to ask, why is that? Is there an underlying belief? Is there a new way of doing things? Is there a new way forward? Can I choose differently? The Lovers can be that energy of choice, of making choices and not being distracted by the things that are going to be pulling us away from that joy, that fulfillment, that purpose. So that could be really highlighted at this time. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So I feel that there could be a lot of things going on under the surface at this time. And at some point, you could gain some clarity, especially if you take this time out to reflect on things. You could really gain this new sense of self, this new idea to move forward, even a new perspective or a new truth about something. You have a clarity about your path forward and how to get there. Maybe even dropping a few of those swords, because we started with the 4 and we ended with the 1, which means that you have processed something and now have clarity to move forward in a specific singular direction. So are there multiple things that you're moving through right now? Multiple things going on in your mind, multiple things going on in your external world? And it could just be about prioritizing and figuring out what is most important for you at this moment. So let's get a final oracle message to end your reading. Take On Me is playing in the background. Our neighbors is playing the song, so I don't know if that is relevant for anyone. One card, please, to end Soul Path 2 reading. Soul Path 2's reading. One card, please. What do they need to hear? That one almost came out. Thank you. Cut Your Losses, which is on the bottom of the deck. And the swords can be about that. So it's almost like you're detaching from something here when we go from the 4 to the 1. Like I said, you're letting something go, you're releasing something. This could be having to do with communication with somebody. You're cutting ties, cutting your losses, cutting communication. This could be also thoughts as well, where you are no longer thinking about a certain person or a certain thing because it just doesn't make any sense for you to be putting your mental energy into this. And look, beginnings. That goes really beautifully with the 1, because 1s are in numerology new beginnings, new fresh starts. And I feel like there's definitely new beginning up and coming here. But to not move too quickly to get to that new beginning, because I feel like there's a lot of information and a lot of knowledge or higher wisdom that you're gaining in this process. So do not rush, do not overlook. And that a little bit was touched on in Soul Path 1. So definitely go check that out if you have not already. And by the next new moon, you may start to see some shifts happening. So whenever you come across this, look up when the new moon is, and maybe even work with the moon to foster these new beginnings and what you want moving forward. So this is what I have for you, Soul Path 2. I hope you found some clarity and guidance today. If you would like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 3. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the measure card with the citrine stone. You could be a cook or you could be a baker, so you do a lot of measuring. That could be for somebody. Oh, I just noticed that there's this little guy in a boat riding this wave. So you could be riding some kind of wave right now. Now, you could also... what I heard was measure once, cut twice, but it actually should be measure twice, cut once. So I wonder if you are quick to do something without a second thought and then having to go back to the start to redo it because, I don't know, that could be a message for somebody. So it's almost like Spirit's encouraging you to measure twice, cut once. So to double check your work, to double check your measurements. Maybe you're putting something together too. So you could be, yeah, a baker, a cook. I even get construction from that for some reason. Boating could be relevant to you as well. So let's spin those. And what we're going to do, since the previous week was a little longer than I wanted, I'm going to do 3 cards at the start, and then 2 cards clarifying, and then we'll get an oracle card to end your reading. So for, Soul Path 3, 2 more cards please for Soul Path 3. One more. One more for Soul Path 3, please. Okay, that one flew across the table. I'll get it in one sec here. So you have, I don't think I showed, if you're coming from Soul Path 1 and 2, I apologize, I don't think I showed the cards up close. We have the Star, we have the Sun in reverse, and we have the 10 of Swords in reverse, with the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. Ace of Cups underneath that, just out of curiosity. All right, so there's like a hope but a lack of confidence here, or a lack of joy. And then we have an attachment to something that may have ended that you haven't quite fully detached yourself from yet. I'm not sure if this is in collaboration with somebody, with multiple people. This could be a job. This could be a network of friends, family. I'm hearing be mindful of your measurements. Being mindful of what you're putting into the mix. So what I get with that is how are you spending your time and energy at this time, especially your mental energy? What are you putting your time and energy into as well with the 3 of Pentacles? When it's in the upright position, it tends to speak to really harmonious collaborations where everybody's coming to the table with their strengths. They're working really well together to build up on something. This is also an apprentice energy. So you are taking the thing that you know that you're skilled at, and you are applying it in the context of connection and collaboration, working with others, working on a team. So why did we start with the Star card? This is an interesting one. So I feel a sense of hope has been brought back to some kind of situation. This could be by choice. This could be because you're seeing glimmers of hope. Maybe you've already gone through a bit of disconnection from whatever collaboration or connection wasn't working for you. Maybe you are measuring the time and energy and resources that you're putting towards a specific project, a specific person, a situation. And what I'm almost feeling here is that you're not happy about it, but you're almost doing it anyway. Reluctant, very reluctant. I get a lot of reluctance here. Because I feel like you're coming to some kind of hope in the shadows. And you know that in order for you to chase something bigger or better, or to live more authentically, or to feel more joyful, you have done some kind of assessment on what that looks like in reality, and understanding the things that you have attached yourself to that may have been either painful for you to be in, or just came to a natural end that you've attached yourself to for a significant period of time, which may no longer is beneficial for you to have in your life. It could have been very mentally fatiguing for you or exhausting for you to have in your life. And it doesn't please you to detach yourself from this because, again, there could be some, at one point, there could have been some collaboration or really good harmony. There could have been some really good times. But you're at a point where you have either grown beyond it or simply just grown apart from it. So I think you're coming to the realization that you have to follow your North Star, your true north. And that might mean doing things you don't like. That might mean disappointing people, even yourself. That might mean having to detach yourself from people and even inflict unintentional pain on them because of that. But I really do feel like you put a lot of effort into this thought process. And you want to see the light. And I think in this Ten of Swords energy, whatever this Ten of Swords energy was, there was nothing left for you but darkness and pain and cycles and patterns that kept you in the dark. But in this darkness, I feel you found your light. And now you're moving through an energy of finding your light again, of finding what really lights you up, of finding who really lights you up, of maybe even connecting with yourself a little bit more. And coming back to that oracle card, this person is riding this wave, or this person, this rabbit is in a boat riding this wave. So it's like, I'm getting the Tower card with this, because this mouse is this energetic force that you had to gracefully ride the wave of. But after the Tower came the star. And then after the star eventually came the sun. And then after the sun eventually came the release of a lot of mental burdens. Maybe even healing your mental health or trying to improve your mental health. So there's almost a self-preservation or like a hopefulness coming through here, and an action plan of moving through that, of finding your true North Star, finding what works for you, finding what's best for you, and moving towards that, even though it might be challenging or uncomfortable for you. Let's get some. An Ace of Cups is under that, which is that new emotional beginning of being open and allowing yourself to be a little bit vulnerable. You have another ace here, Ace of Swords in reverse, one more. So there's still a bit of clouded judgment here because I feel like there's still some work to do. And in this cloudy moments, like there's so much darkness with these three cards. The Ace of Swords in the upright, in the reverse, and then the Moon. There's a lot of confusion now that you have made some decisions or come to some kind of realization. Maybe some foundations were stripped away and you have moved through a bit of a point of discomfort. You're riding some kind of wave here. There's confusion because nothing is as what it seems. You are working through murky waters. You are almost redefining your path or redefining where you want to go, maybe even redefining self and how you want to see the world, how you want to think about yourself. And with that comes a lot of questions, a lot of really secret energy where you don't really know what the answers are because you have yet to define it. It's like you are given a blank slate and it's up to you to redefine it. And that is this Moon energy, is this darkness and having to move one small step at a time using your intuition. And also challenging your conditioned beliefs are being challenged by your intuition and this newfound clarity that's trying to come through. So there's a bit of tension here with those two things, but there's also a rebirth happening and an opening of new doors because of it. You are essentially shedding a skin and moving from an old you into a new you, and also gaining perspective here Because when you look at this card, to this little rabbit here, this is a really big wave. But with a larger perspective, with kind of a higher knowing, you realize that it's a small wave in a cup. So there's almost like a sense of worrying about or prioritizing what you're worrying about and making sure that your worries are things that are within your control. And worry is something that I personally struggle with as well. I worry about everything. So I understand if this is a challenge for you. I'm still trying to work through this myself. But I feel like if you can somehow release some of the worry, some of the mental burdens that you have at this time, so that you can focus what you need to focus on, kind of the highest priorities. Focus all your energy on the highest priorities. I feel that might really help. So let's get an oracle card to end your reading. All right. So Soul Path 2 got this card as their last card, New Beginnings. So the new moon, you might see some changes starting to happen, or if you're not already feeling some changes. But it is about fresh starts and moving through this murky water to be transformed and be refreshed. Bottom of the deck. This transformation card is essentially the death card in the traditional tarot, which is this slow decay of our old selves and stepping into our new chapters, our new books that we are writing for ourselves. So this is what I have for you, Soul Path 3. I hope you found some clarity and guidance today. If you would like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description box. With gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 4. Welcome to your reading. So you chose Prepare with the red jasper. There's a lot of stuff going on in this picture. I feel a little bit of like you're preparing for a trip, you're preparing to move, you're preparing for some kind of event. You're getting things in order, maybe you're even decluttering. But I almost get you are prioritizing the things that are most important to you. And by preparing for these things, maybe before they happen, they relieve a lot of mental stress because we can do what we can do to prepare ourselves as best as possible. So maybe you're even preparing to go back to school or preparing for some kind of workshop or exam or interview. Bringing all these resources together in order to put your best foot forward. So last week, the readings were a little bit longer than I would have liked. So we're going to do 3 cards to start. We'll get 2 clarifiers. We'll look at the bottom of the deck, and then we'll get an oracle card to end your reading. So 3 cards for Soul Path 4, please. What message would you like to share with them today, Spirit? For Soul Path 4, thank you. 2 more, thank you. 1 more, thank you. Okay, so these 2 came out together. You have the 8 of Wands and King of Swords. Wow, in the upright. Okay, so I actually only wanted to get 3. I got 4. That's okay. The Hanged Man in the upright and the 7 of Cups in the upright with the King of Pentacles in the upright at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the King of Swords and 8 of Wands came out together, which I feel tells me that there could be some travel involved. There could be somebody you're connected with, a mentor, a teacher. You could be a teacher. You could be teaching something at a distance. So you may be traveling to a place to teach something. And maybe you're preparing. possibly something to do with enlightenment. This could actually be a business for you as well. You could have your own business and you're doing a retreat or a resort or something where you are the leader of some kind of retreat or resort, and so you're preparing to take this trip, to do this travel. I feel like it could also be a spiritual retreat of some kind, because I'm getting depth with the Hanged Man as well as enlightenment. I feel like you need to keep your eyes open for communications. There could be a lot of fast-moving energy around you right now. And so you need to have a bird's eye view and not be reactive to the changing circumstances. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things happening around you where you're trying to mitigate problems, you're trying to solve problems, you're trying to move with grace. So I think as much preparation as you might be doing, I feel like you're going to be put in a bit of a spot where you have to be really on point with your decision making. So I'm going to say to not make quick decisions, but to make precise decisions. Make decisions that align with your plan, with your purpose, with what makes the most sense for you intuitively. There could also be some delays, so you could need to make certain decisions quickly, but then delays happen. So there could be some frustration and confusion there. But I feel like you're a very grounded person. You're also very intelligent as well. You're very decisive. You're a really great listener, and you also know how to delegate. You also know how to communicate. So this could be you communicating with others as well in a really fast-paced manner. And I almost wonder if we go too fast, whether that is within ourselves or expecting others to, then there is that lack of preparation for what's next. So I almost wonder if the Hanged Man is here to give a breathing room between the decision and the emotions that need to be processed for that to actually happen. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody out there. But this feels like a very fast, swift moving energy. Let's go, let's do it, let's like one thing to the other. And that could be your energy, is that you're a very action-oriented person. You know what you want, you go after it, the end. But I feel like the Hanged Man is here to be a little bit of a pausing energy, because we need to see something from a different point of view, or else we might get to a bit of a confusing spot where there's too many things to decide, too many options, maybe even overwhelm of emotions that we have yet to process. So this is giving us that moment of processing that emotion, to sort through the emotional side of it and not just the intellectual side and the practical side of these are the steps. And what's interesting is the pentacle energy is usually a very slow-moving energy, and the sword energy is very fast. So we've got a very quick energy here and a very slow-moving energy here, with a little bit of confusion in the mix. So maybe you do take a very practical, slow approach, but things around you are going to, I don't want to say pressure you, but encourage you to make decisions a little quicker. And so I wonder if you need to respond. There's some kind of preparation that needs to happen in order for you to be on point. And it could have something to do with this enlightenment, where you need to take a time out to maybe reflect on your answers, reflect on the problem at hand to find solutions, to avoid overwhelm in the moment. Because whatever is coming in is really fast, so it's almost like you need to be prepared for that energy. And I think you're pretty good at the planning and the practical side, the things that need to be done, the steps that need to be taken. But this is almost an energy of making decisions from a different part of you. And also, This almost feels like once you've made the choices, you're second guessing yourself and you want to change your options or change your choice. So again, that preparation card is coming back, maybe to understand what your purpose is, what your goals are, what does success look like for you, what is your larger objective, and I think this might require a little bit, like a different part of you, rather than a step-by-step practical approach. This requires you to think on your feet, to tap into your intuition, to move from kind of a higher enlightened place of enlightenment, and not go back on your decision, not second guess that. It might be a little different for you. It's a very interesting reading. I don't really know what's going on here. You can let me know if this is resonating at all, because to me, I don't know. 9 of Cups in the reverse. So you might be moving through some energy of maybe feeling dissatisfied with something, dissatisfied with yourself, maybe a little bit of, I want to say lack of confidence, but not seeing your achievements, not seeing the good things. And we have the 3 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So this is disharmony with self and disharmony with others. Okay, I'm getting something. I'm going to throw it out there, and I apologize if this reading is not very clear. I think there's multiple situations going on, and so the messages are getting really intertwined. So with this is like you're not satisfied with something, and maybe you haven't been satisfied with something in the way that you've done it before. So it requires you to shift gears, and this is that shifting gears of moving from practical and slow to something that is very intuitive, ambitious, to the point, done, and not turning back on that approach. It might feel different for you, but it might lead you to greater fulfillment because it could build confidence. It could, this is like trusting yourself to make that decision and know that it is kind of the best way or the best decision for you. Not necessarily in a hasty way, but in a way that is decisive and to the point and the end. Whereas this is a bit of a slow-moving, confusing energy, so it's almost like, and the 3 of Pentacles is connected to this, I think. So it's like, I feel like you might cause confusion with others if you take too much time to make plans, or you take too much time to make decisions. It might sever some opportunities, some connections, some relationships or networks. It might confuse people, or it might confuse the situation. It might, maybe you're being bombarded with too many options and you want to take your time and work things through. But I feel like this is a fast-moving opportunity, so you either have to go all in or risk losing the opportunity because you're overwhelmed in making this decision. So it's almost like that's what you need to prepare yourself for, is a shifting gears, maybe just for a particular opportunity. Understanding what your limits are, understanding what your purpose or your why is, understanding that it's okay to not have a step-by-step plan, but kind of go with the flow and go with your first instinct. Even though it might be a quick decision, that doesn't mean you have to do everything quickly. So maybe having a moment to reflect on that before it happens, rather than doing that in the moment. You can't get caught up in the details on this, is what I'm getting, or else you're just going to overwhelm yourself, confuse yourself, and maybe not make the decision at all. This could have something to do with a partnership, collaboration. But I feel just as long as you're moving in a very clear forward direction, and you're making sure to look at contracts in great detail, or you're having somebody look over contracts so that you can be very clear what your non-negotiables are, what you are, what your terms are, what your process is. Have those things outlined, but don't worry too much about all of the tiny little details of we have to do this and we have to do that and we have to set up a call and we have to talk about this. I feel like that has served you really well. But in this particular circumstance that I'm seeing, it requires you to take this and almost simplify it in a very straightforward manner. If that makes any sense. You'll have to let me know. So we're going to get a final oracle message to end your reading. But I feel like you're a very well-established person. So do not doubt your talents, your abilities. Trust your decision-making. Trust your communication skills. Don't let emotions override your better judgment. Too many. One card to end Soul Path 4, please. One card to end Soul Path 4, please. Yeah. Strength. So this is tapping into your strength with the Yang Moon. And the Yang energy is that forward-moving action. That doesn't necessarily mean swift, but it is that ambition, that drive, that confidence. And then we have higher power on the bottom of the deck. So higher power, I think, is going to be a part of this decision-making, a part of this particular opportunity or circumstance. And you can't lean on the details or the practicalities. You have to tap into your intuition, which I think might be a little bit different for you. But know that you have the strength, the talent, the abilities, everything that you need to make this decision wisely. And again, it doesn't have to be fast, but it does have to be somewhat direct. You have to ask for what you want, and you have to stick to that. Or else you'll get stuck in this overwhelm and delays, which might not get you to where you want to go. So this is what I have for you, Soul Path 4. I hope you found some clarity and guidance. If you'd like a personal reading, the link for that is in the description box. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading.